$65.
The Sugar Creek Township Advisory Board meeting is now being recorded. Today is Wednesday, August 20th, 2025, and the time is 6:00 p.m.
Go ahead and get started. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, you actually come here today, so go ahead and start with introduction of trustee and board members, and we'll go around the room and do introductions. So starting down here, can you table to my left?
Dan Shackle, I'm an attorney with Frost Brown Todd.
Jason Combs, Sugar Creek Township trustee. Matt Holland, Sugar Creek board member.
Mark Mattis, Sugar Creek board member.
Joe Fitzgerald, Sugar Creek board member.
Gabrielle Tucker, deputy trustee.
Michelle Davis, Cronin Associates, the financial advisor for Sugar Creek.
Brandon Klein, fire chief.
Scott Croft, Frost Brown Todd Attorneys.
Eddie Molinder, it's always close.
I'm here to be here.
It's my son.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started. We'll get into trustees report.
Will, I have a question. Can we go ahead and get Katie, let her do her presentation? And then we'll go back to regular business so she can go home and have a good evening with her son.
I'm going to the ball dance.
Okay, from Zoe's place.
No, I'm gonna stand up just because I feel weird sitting down with you guys. So first I want to thank Jason for inviting me here today. I've been around to the different towns in the county, but so I'm glad that you reminded me that I should come to this townships as well. So I'm gonna start just by, I'm really gonna do my best to not talk too much because I absolutely love to talk about Zoe's Place. To just give you, for those of you that don't know what we do at Zoe's Place. So we are a child advocacy center here in Hancock County. I'm one of the founders. We opened officially in 2020. The reason that Zoe's Place opened, the reason we saw the need, the gap in services, so before Zoe's Place opened, when kids would report abuse or neglect, law enforcement, Department of Child Services, one of those would come in and begin an investigation. And usually law enforcement or Department of Child Services would interview a child. And so a lot of times they did it separately. So maybe DCS would talk to a kiddo, then law enforcement, and then the prosecutor would eventually get looped in. And a lot of times kids were talking about their trauma multiple times. They were being interviewed in police departments, which can be very intimidating for kids that are under 18 or anyone really. And people would feel like, maybe they're telling a different story or there were differences. We are, as a child advocacy center, we provide that interview to the kiddos. We do it in a very child-friendly, very safe space. We have this really cute house on 9. We just moved there from another cute little house we started in Greenfield. They walk into this beautiful space and they come in the front door. And then our MDT, it's multidisciplinary teams, law enforcement, prosecutor, DCS, all come in the back. And I'm highly trained. I'm our primary forensic interviewer, so I understand child development from really 3 is where we start, 3 to 18. Understand how kids talk, understand their concept of time. My interview skills are non-leading, non-suggestive. So my entire job, really, well, not really because I'm the executive director, but a huge portion of my job as a forensic interviewer is to be able to conduct those interviews in a child-friendly way. I'm also though getting all the information that law enforcement, prosecutor, DCS would need. The idea behind them coming in the back, us being in the front, is that we don't know what kind of biases these kiddos are walking into. We don't know what they've been told before they came in. We don't know what kind of trauma, based on any kind of trauma that they've had. My goal, my mission is trauma reduction. So trying to minimize that there's going to be an addition of trauma going through any situation that would be related to. Our primary focus is sexual abuse, but we also do physical abuse interviews and neglect. We do child witness to crime. So I've, kiddos who have possibly witnessed maybe homicide or violent crime. So domestic violence, when they witness domestic violence altercations. So we are conducting that interview and we're doing it in conjunction with the multidisciplinary team. I also coordinate our MDT, which means we have monthly case reviews, so we review cases every month. I also keep up on cases, so, oh, I haven't seen charges, come through on this perpetrator, what's going on, and so we talk about that monthly, so we're kind of keeping things at the, at the forefront, so everybody's working together. One of the advantages of having the MDT together is they're hearing the kiddo talk, maybe we're talking about a crime happened in a certain space, and they're talking about different things that can be collected for physical evidence. The prosecutor and law enforcement are talking right there in that we call it an MDT room, and they're able to work on that case together right there in that moment. And so it really brings everybody together to be able to do that in that space. We officially really started interviewing in 2021. We have seen an increase in cases. Last year we did 251 cases, but I will say we had a serial perpetrator in our community in Hancock County. I'm sure many of you are aware. I'm actually wearing my shirt. We have these shirts made for all the kiddos. We had 13 kids that were actually involved in, that were victims of the serial predator who was just convicted, and I think his sentence was around 72 years. So we interviewed 40 to 50 kids last year, just out of like precaution, and out of those 13 of them were charged. So last year was a big year with that 250. We're typically, the year before we did 156, and we're on course this year to be about 200. So that's where that is. And we work at the whole county. I would say 50% of our cases are really from Greenfield PD, like in that space. And then the rest of the 50% are from the different communities. So McCourtsville, Fortville, New Palestine, Shirley, and Sheriff's Department. We work very well with all of the departments. We have 2 trained forensic interviewers right now, but we just brought on a 3rd, and she's going through training. So we are available 24/7, 365. So we rotate weeks on and weeks off to be available to do interviews at any time. We don't see a lot of emergency interviews just because interviewing a kiddo at 2 a.m. they're really not in the best headspace, so we really try to like them to be rested, and feeling safe when they're coming in to see us. But we definitely do, sometimes there are situations that cause for emergency interviews. Another big thing that we just started, we do child abuse prevention education in all of the Hancock County schools now. Indiana has mandated in 2017 or 2018, all kids K through 12 should receive a child abuse prevention education presentation every single year. The schools were reaching out to us asking if we could provide that presentation. We only had 2 staff members, and I just didn't see how it was gonna work. So we piloted it last year in New Palestine. And it went really well, so well that all the other schools reached out to me and asked if we would come. So we are actually physically in Mount Vernon, Eastern, and New Palestine. Greenfield, we just shared our curriculum with them, and they're going to do the presentations. So starting Monday, pretty much every day until the beginning of December, we will be in one of the schools. We only go in the morning so that we have plenty of time in the afternoon to be available to conduct interviews. So I'm really excited about that. We use what's called Monique Bird Child Abuse Prevention Education Programming. It's a national curriculum, and I just really felt like I don't think that I am qualified to create a curriculum on my own. So we purchased this through grant funding, and we are in, all 3 of us, and then I brought on a part-time person to also help facilitate some of this in every school. I'm really excited about this. The motivation for us is that we want to be that positive touch point to those kiddos. So if they're coming in, it's like, oh, I've already heard of Zoe's place. I know that you guys are nice, friendly people. I've seen you maybe during the presentation. So that was our motivation. Obviously, the schools have their own. They're required to have that for us to fulfill that state mandate. It was really important to us to be able to provide that for free, because if we were charging, they might possibly pick a different program, one that I would feel comfortable being able to vet that and know what the kids are aware of when they're coming in. The reason I like that the program that I chose so well is because it really just helps kids identify red flags in their lives, and then pushes them back to the safe people that they're familiar with, and then to have that conversation with those safe adults, and those safe adults can help navigate whether this is something that needs to be reported or not. So I felt like from a community standpoint, that was something as a parent, I would feel much more comfortable with. And to be able to have those conversations with my children. But we are, I would invite any of you, I would say I'd love to give tours so that I can, have the full hour to talk about what we do at Zoe's Place. But I invite people anytime to reach out, bring family, schedule a tour, make sure to call. I absolutely love walking people around and showing everybody how we work. The most expensive part of a child advocacy center, aside from salary, is the recording equipment. The sheriff's department here in Hancock County actually provided that recording equipment for us. It's the same thing that they use in their interview rooms. So we are part of that contract, so it is free for us. And the utility, and I think a lot of law enforcement are very familiar with utility. They even gave us a new program that they just created for Child Advocacy Center. So they replaced our old equipment, and we have this brand new, really, really awesome interview equipment. We are the only child advocacy center in the state that uses the law enforcement like server to house all of our interviews. So we feel very comfortable with the safety and security of where our interviews are. And then they're all provided digitally through like very solid encrypted files. And you can see, because of the way utility is, we follow that custody all the way through to the end, so that there's no chance, a very, 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 very slim chance that they would ever be made public or put on YouTube or something like that. Before that, other advocacy centers would have DVDs that they would circulate around. We just feel really good not having anything physical out there with the kids. This confidentiality obviously is of the utmost importance. Currently, we have quite a few cases that have been charged that have come from Zoe's Place. I can tell you that we talk to 100% of the kids that have, or there's been a report to DCS that involves sexual abuse. We talk to 100% of those kids in Hancock County. And then we also do a very large number of Marion County East cases. Marion County does not have a child advocacy center that is structured the way ours is structured, where we're very child friendly. Theirs is run by the prosecutor's office, so it's set up a little bit differently. So we actually we do all the Lawrence PD brings all their cases to us, and we also provide based on location. IMPD ICAC has come through and they're using our facility, and we also provide space for FBI and Homeland Security when they're in the area. So we have a lot of things going on there, a lot of time. I feel like I always know everything that's going on because we are that touch point. So we also provide ongoing training for law enforcement, ongoing training for the prosecutor's office, DCS. We are always looking for grants to be able to continue to educate those agencies that are keeping us all safe to ongoing as what's going on in child sex abuse investigations. So we are very, very busy, and which might sound like a bad thing, but the excitement in my voice is because prior to us coming on, where these things were really happening kind of in a vacuum and we weren't all talking to each other. So it's exciting that people feel comfortable reporting, people feel comfortable coming to Zoe's Place, and we are providing the services. I will tell you, I feel like 90%, and it could even be higher, of our kids that come don't want to leave. So you got to think like why they're there, right? So they're there talking to us and we are done and they're like, they don't want to leave. So the prosecutor's office uses Zoe's Place to do trial prep for kiddos as well. And they love coming back. The snacks and drinks, and we just, really make sure they're full and not, hungry or thirsty when they come in. And there's tons of toys. They have access to so much that they can play with and hang out. So it really is a very comfortable space for our families.
And you have a therapy dog there, right?
We do, Skeeter. So today was actually his 6 months. So he was in training. And then today is the day that he finally gets to not be in training anymore. So it's so fun. The kids love Skeeter. I will tell you, those kiddos that all testified in our recent case, we brought in therapy dogs from around the state just because we had so many, and they just love seeing the animals and being with the animals and having those in the courtroom. It really helped with some of those kiddos. They've just felt a lot better having the animals there. So yes, we have Skeeter now. He is not my dog. He is one of my employees' dogs, but I'm the backup handler. So we enjoy having Skeeter when they go out of town. But yeah, so do you guys have any questions for me as far as like what we do? how we're impacting our local community.
Any questions? I know it's a very valuable resource firsthand and, just excited for your guys' passion. You guys do a great job and I know it's something that's gonna, I can't believe it's grown to the capacity that it has.
Yes.
There's even more need to even keep on growing in our
Yes.
community, especially the growing community. So,
Yep.
it's very, very helpful, much needed asset. So I
Yes,
appreciate what you're doing and your team. So.
absolutely.
With that being said, I remember back in 2019 or maybe 2020, we had
Mhm.
Bridget come in at that
Yep.
point in time.
Yep.
And we had given her a donation for which is always place, so that's why I wanted to do this and do it this evening.
Yep.
Based on your guys' recommendation, I know that we $5,000.
Okay.
So,
I'll,
get a motion.
I'll make a motion to, set aside $5,000 for Zillers Place.
Second,
All right, motion been made, properly seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carried.
Congratulations.
I cannot thank you enough. And I would say, I would really like to come back and kind of be able to talk to you about what we were able to spend that funding on. I don't know if there's anything specific. I know I talked about a lot of things that you would like to see that go towards. I know I can tell you our prevention efforts, it's been really hard for us to. There's a lot of funding out there for reacting to child abuse, but there's really not a lot for the prevention side. So there's been a lot of local organizations that have stepped up and really helped us with some of the prevention things. So I know some of our dollars would go to that. Our training, really being able to train law enforcement, DCS, prosecutor's office. There's so many great trainings, but I'm sure, Matt, you're very familiar with, there's only a limited amount of money in your departments. So I love being able to send officers to training as well. So that's another big thing that we're doing right now. So I would love to be able to come back and let you guys know what we're up to. In either 6 months to a year. So we'll definitely have to work that out. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Yes. You guys have a wonderful evening. I'm gonna go watch some baseball. Thank you.
Good night.
You too.
All right, we'll go to the trustee report.
So my report is a little bit long because this is obviously a 2-month report since we had to cancel our July meeting with all the vacations going on. I will present it in front of you. I'll just kind of let you give you a few minutes if you want to read down through there. If you have any questions, please, by all means, go ahead and ask. We have been very busy between Gabby, myself, and Chief Klein. A lot going on, especially with Senate 1 stuff. That's yeah, and there's a goal.
Yeah.
Any questions on any of those items?
The bathroom machine, talking about the water, the hallway out there,
Yes, sir.
you could beat that.
Actually, yeah, we, the used one that I had acquired from a Greenville firefighter, that I'm paying him $100 for.
Well, no, that's not my question.
It's got it's got a bottle and everything, so we can actually drink, get water out of it.
Okay.
So. The other
Just
one,
a little stop thing that used to be.
the other thing didn't work, Joe. Like, something's happened over the years with maintenance or something to that, like, they don't.
How did, the donation for the mulch, how did that come to be?
I reached back out to them because if you remember right years ago, I was able to get them to donate to the park as well.
Yeah.
So I went up there and I was actually taking some of the loads of brush that I was taking out of the park.
Yeah.
And I was in the office and I said, you know, hey, you helped us out years ago. Would you be interested or can you help us with something like that or this kind of price? And they said, no, we'll actually give you the mulch. You just tell us when and what you need.
Are they still off of, offer?
No, right up here on the other side of I-70. So 600 west.
Oh,
North, and then you make it right,
okay,
kind of
yeah,
behind the Wendy's.
right.
And, the loads I was taking up there, I didn't feel they were $40 a load or something, $40 or $60 a load. I got 3 loads up there. I'd taken 2 loads already to Karen's and was burning. It was taking gas between the gasoline and
Right.
kerosene burning. I thought, this is. I'm on this route. I would have done it for sure earlier had I known this.
Awesome.
So anyway, that's what's going on.
Any questions? Alright, thank you. Moving on to the fire chief report.
Hey, we're at 1,605 runs for the year. I was deployed to Kirk County, Texas for the floods for 19 days. So that took up a lot of my time, but, with Indiana Task Force 1. When I got back, we held a front office staff meeting to go over the budget items and some of the quarterly goals we set out at the beginning of the year. Attended the 911 operations board meeting, attended multiple county commissioners and county council meetings. We with Cronin Associates in reference to the budget planning process. Had bi-yearly station inspections with each of the respective house captains. That's something we started doing twice a year, just to make sure we're staying up on maintenance issues. Met with multiple vendors on upcoming purchases for future planning and had multiple meetings with trustee Combs. Last night I attended a reception at the governor's mansion where I was able to meet with many of the members of the IDHS office. Ended up being a good networking event. Listed are each of the division chiefs reports. You guys can look through that if you have any questions, get with me. And then as a follow-up to some discussion we had at our last board meeting, I have listed on the back of there under various inspections, all the things going on in the township as far as future builds, some of the things that's going on and the list of items there. So that is it. Also, I have given each one of you our strategic plan, which is a 3 to 5 year plan for the fire department. Nothing that is written in stone, but it's kind of the vision, planning purposes of where we want to go. That kind of fits into the ask of Senate Bill 1 and how we're planning for that budgetary process over the next couple of years.
Any update on the roof issue?
It is fixed to my knowledge, other than one leak that we are still waiting on an estimate come back on. I had Mayor Store there yesterday. They're coming back on Friday. They want to make sure they're going to put some water on the roof, make sure to recreate any issues that we have possibly had in the past. And then I think we can button that project up.
Was it the same issue that they supposedly fixed the first time? I mean, was it the same thing that just, or they
Well, it depends on which first time you talk about. There has been 3 different leaks. 2 of those are fixed. One maybe, we're not sure what the
Let's hope
situation
it's the
is.
same.
2 different spots.
Yeah, they're different spots.
Yeah.
That's how it's all what's the same.
So do we have
Been talking about it today.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yes, the major leak,
Progress.
the major leak has been fixed and is, they did a really good job on. Problems identified, they corrected that problem. Just one lingering issue, so try to work through that. It's my goal to have that wrapped up here sooner rather than later.
Once we get done with that, then we'll proceed the attorneys to.
Well, so I was asking, they're coming and get the snow and ice up there and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions for the fire chief? Nope. All right. I'll entertain motion to approve minutes from June 18th meeting. With the May properly seconded, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Here. Moving on to old business, we need to have further discussion on pickleball courts and how
They are very busy over there. It's been a success. I would say it was a very good year. I think going into next year, I'd like to try to do 2 more additional courts if the budget funding will allow. So then we would have a total of 4. It has really been very successful. I've heard nothing but good things. A lot of people I run into at the wellness center over here, they all that do play indoors, they also have said, man, we love playing outdoors. This is amazing.
I can't believe how popular it is on in Greenfield, Riley Park. They have some, it looks like they're packed there. Every morning.
A lot.
4 or 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
It's just, yeah, so, all right, good. Moving on to new business, all right, it's always place presentations and moving on to Cronin Associates capital improvement plan.
Hi, guys. I'm here tonight to discuss the, capital improvement plan that the new legislation shows or makes townships adopt. They say townships have to adopt this by all townships. It used to be, a few townships, right? Or like,
In 2019, that
yeah, like,
everybody had to do it, but it was once.
yeah.
Now it's every year.
Okay. But you have to adopt a plan by September 30th, every year now and submit it to the county as well as, upload it to DLGF. But if you do not pass it, it could impact the ability to levy property taxes. Not sure how they can do that, but. Sorry. So if you don't account for all the excess cash at the end, so after the budget, when you do the budget process, you estimate 12/31/26 cash, like you're in cash for next year. So if your capital improvement plan does not include like cover, show that you have the need for all that cash, then you're required to do a 30% transfer to this new township and road fund. That then you will designate either the town or the county to do the bidding and kind of manage those funds
Within the township.
within the township, yes. So we're here tonight to present this plan. This is not an obligation. Any spent budget still has to go through the budget process. So this is just a picture of kind of the improvements the township is looking to do, from the township general fund. So once we get to that year, we start budgeting, we'll see if we actually have the cash to make these kind of purchases. So, do you want me to go through this now, or do you want to do the public hearing first? This,
If you want, I'll introduce the public hearing and then
okay,
have you do this and then we'll take public comment. So as she was saying, this is a result of House Enrolled Act 1461. And you have to identify all of your funds, and then there are specific pieces that are excluded that are called unrestricted funds, and those are found in code. And those unrestricted funds come off the top, and if you still have money left over, that's where the 30% comes in. In this case, the report that's been prepared doesn't have any additional funds for you to take that 30% from. And so You have to adopt it tonight. You have to have a public hearing per statute, which has been noticed in the newspaper over 10 days prior to this hearing. And all that being said, we will vote, or you all will vote tonight on the adoption of a resolution approving the capital improvement plan. And then, as she said, that'll be submitted to DLGF. And there is an additional step, if you were to have the 30%, which you do not, you would also have to do that resolution that would allow you to transfer that money to the county and an MOU with that entity that you're transferring the money to. Because you don't have the extra money, means you don't have to go through that step, but if next year you should have excess money, then you'll have to go through that extra step of the MOU and the resolution for that purpose. But for now, we're just gonna talk about the public hearing. She can go through the spreadsheet that you all have, and then we'll take public comment and but.
All right. All right, I'll entertain a motion to close the board meeting. Make a motion.
Second.
Motion made, properly seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. I'll entertain a motion to open the special public hearing. Motion made, properly seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, start public hearing on resolution 082025A. Capital improvement.
I don't have the resolution in front of me, but, this is the template that I have I'll talk about the exhibit on the back. This is the template that the DLGF gave us. I'm gonna skip the first page for now, but I'll just go to the second page. And this is the top is the estimated balance of the rainy day fund after budget year 26. About 560,000. And we've identified $570,000 worth of projects we might do. So there's nothing available for the transfer on it. So the next page is the township general. And that top number is the estimated balance, 3.3, around 3.3 million is the estimated balance for the township general at the end of 26. But we've identified almost $12 million worth of capital improvements that we may or may not do when it gets to that time. But the last page, not the last page, second to the last page. Page 4. This is where we've kind of listed, identified some different projects that we went through with Chief Klein and Trustee Combs for the next probably 10 years. We also included like a cemetery adjustment because you guys are responsible for like your cemetery. So eventually you'll have to do some kind of restoration probably to headstones that might cost a little bit. So we're including a capital allowance for that. Some vehicles and equipment. This is from that's from kind of Klein's list that they might look into buying. And then same with some of the other big ticket items. I think Jason wants to do something at the parks and kind of improvements. We're still looking at better estimates for that, but we plugged a number we might think it's around the ballpark. I guess, do you guys have any questions about the list specifically? Okay. Well, and then, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But something else comes up during the course of the year that we need to spend money on, we can spend it and not have to worry about this, correct?
Correct, yes. I mean, as long as you have it budgeted, I mean, if you don't have it budgeted, you just have to do an additional appropriation.
Right.
But, yeah, and then this can always be amended, but you have to adopt it every year, so I don't know if anybody actually amends it.
I doubt that they'll amend it, because DLG probably wouldn't look at it, but you'll catch up in the following year, you'll know what your cash balance is, and then you'll look at going out even further potentially with capital.
Or-
improvements.
different projects, you're like, oh, we're not doing that anymore, we'll change it up, so. Yeah, and then, yeah, this is not an obligation, right, it's just a rough plan.
So we're gonna need. All right. Any questions? Capital payment plan as presented? Horace?
I'll second it.
All right, so a motion to approve resolution number, do we have to have a reading of the resolution?
No, just by name only, and then, also the public is welcome to comment, there's no public here, so.
All right. So,
You should say.
all right, so we need to close the public hearing and then vote in the meeting? Or vote?
Yes.
All right, motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made, properly seconded to close the public hearing, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion to reopen, board meeting?
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion been made, properly seconded to reopen the board meeting, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Approved. Now, I'll entertain a motion to adopt resolution number 082025A.
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made, properly seconded to adopt resolution 082025A, all those approved, say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Excuse me, Good thing you have me. Third place for you to sign on the notes, so. All right. Good, we'll skip down to the internal control certification from the State Board of Accounts. Jason, you wanna make any comments on that, or?
Sure, as an ongoing, trying to resolve the comments and recommendations from State Board of Accounts when they did their audit. I have been trying to work through that. It's been an issue for a little bit now. Every time I try to gain some traction, it seems like I was hitting roadblocks. The attorneys are helping me through that. And so was their recommendation to come up with a few things, and so here we are at this point.
So this internal control policy required by State Board of Accounts. What you'll do is if you approve it today, as a township, we will, make sure that that's included in the minutes of this meeting. Then next month, when you approve those minutes, we'll make a copy of those minutes. The trustee will sign them and then upload them, along with the policy to the State Board of Accounts. In addition to that, well, kind of in tandem with that is you have to do training for all of your employees, which has been completed to my understanding. All of the employees have watched the video and signed, and those will be uploaded and sent to the State Board of Accounts as well.
All right, so. Entertain a motion to approve the internal controls policy. So. Motion made, properly seconded, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Any questions on the grass rig? Jason?
It's taken a little bit longer than I wanted to, so I apologize for that. We do have it up and posted as of today. We went live with that. part of those problems were really, I've been busy and did not get it done in the last 30 days, so I'll be very honest with you. It is live as of today, and some of those problems also, I was trying to get in touch with, Gov Deals and get them, to get the representative to help me to do the list. So with that being said, we now actually have a very good revenue, I feel like, to get rid of things if we want to. I know it's always been there. We've never really used that in the past, but I'd like to try to use that going forward. In 9 days, almost 10 days, it will end, which is on Friday afternoon, Friday evening. If I remember correctly, so I can text you guys Saturday morning if nothing else, what we actually got out of it. Part of that is also people bid and they say that, we'll just hypothetically say they're a high bidder. If they don't pay, then we have to go through this whole process again. And I can do that. Anybody that has bid on the truck in the past will get notification it's been relisted. So if they're still interested in it, they can say, look, I bid X amount of dollars. That's still my ongoing price, and they may bid on it. So it'll be a whole new auction all over again. But I suspect within 1 or 2 rounds of this, it'll probably go.
We set a reserve at all, or so?
No, we started at $5,000. And the way this one's set up, this auction, I can approve or deny the amount that it sells. So if I don't feel that it brings, an average of that $10,000 to $20,000 bracket that we've talked about in the past, then we'll figure out something else at that point.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else, Jason, in the business?
Just if you want to go back to the uniform conflict of interest. So we've got also here in front of you, the uniform conflict of interest disclosure statement. That just follows up with the, having everything on file and for the internal controls. One of our firefighters, has started his own roll-off business, dumpster rentals, and we used him back on May the 18th for a cleanup job that we had here. Yeah. So that way we'll get this uploaded to Gateway as well.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the conflict of interest disclosure statement from Chase Senator. Make a motion. Motion made, properly seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries.
We have to do that like once a year, right?
We're correct. Yeah,
Anybody that provides anything.
we internally have a list of anybody that has a business. We just go ahead and have them do it in case we
Yeah.
use them.
Well, I used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other new business? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion been made to adjourn, properly seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Adjourned.